Yes, I have tricks in my pocket. I have things in my sleeve. But I'm the opposite of a stage magician. He gives you illusion that has the appearance of truth, while I give you truth in the pleasant disguise of illusion. I begin by turning back time. I reverse it to that quaint period, the 30s, when the huge middle class of America was matriculating in a school for the blind. Their eyes had failed them, or they had failed their eyes. And so they were having their fingers pressed forcibly down on the fiery Braille alphabet of a dissolving economy. In Spain, there was revolution. And here, there was only shouting and confusion. In Spain, there was Guernica. And here, there were disturbances of labor, sometimes pretty violent, in otherwise peaceful cities such as Chicago, Cleveland, St. Louis. This is the social background of the play. The play is a memory. Being a memory play, it is dimly lighted. It is sentimental. It is not realistic. In memory, everything seems to happen to music. That explains the fiddle in the wings. I am the narrator of the play, and also a character in it. The other characters are my mother, Amanda, my sister, Laura, and a gentleman caller who appears in the final scenes. He is the most realistic character in the play, being an emissary from a world of reality we were somehow set apart from. But since I have a poet's weakness for symbols, I am using this character also as a symbol. He is the long-delayed, but always expected something that we live for. There is a fifth character in the play who doesn't appear, other than in this larger-than-life-size photograph over the mantel. This is our father, who left us a long time ago. He was a telephone man who fell in love with long distances. He gave up his job with the telephone company and he skipped the light fantastic out of town. And the last we heard of him was a picture postcard from a Zatlin on the Pacific coast of Mexico containing a message of 2 words. Hello, goodbye. No address. I think the rest of the play will explain itself.
Tom?
Yes, Mother?
We can't say grace until you come to the table.
Coming, Mother.
Oh, honey, don't push with your fingers. If you have to push with something, the thing to push with is a crust of bread. And chew. Animals have secretions in their stomach which enable them to digest food without mastication.
Ugh.
But human beings are supposed to chew their food before they swallow it down. So eat your food leisurely, son, and really enjoy it. A well-cooked meal has lots of delicate flavors that need to be held in the mouth for appreciation. So chew your food and give your salivary glands a chance to function.
I haven't enjoyed one bite at this dinner because of your constant directions on how to eat it. It's you that makes me want to rush through meals with your hawk-like attention to every bite I take. Sickening. Spoils my appetite, all this talk of animal secretion, salivary glands, mastication.
Temperament like a metropolitan star. You're not excused from the table.
I'm getting a cigarette.
You smoke too much.
I'll bring in the Blanc Mange.
No, sister. Why don't you stay here and I'll be the lady. I'll be the
I'm
servant
already
this time.
up.
Well, resume your seat, little sister. I want you to stay fresh and pretty for gentlemen callers.
I'm not expecting any gentlemen callers, Mother.
Well, sometimes they come when they are least expected. Why, I remember one Sunday afternoon in Blue Mountain.
I know what's coming.
Well, yes, but let her tell it.
Again.
She loves to tell it.
One Sunday afternoon in Blue Mountain, your mother received 17 gentlemen callers. Well, there weren't chairs enough to accommodate them all. We had to send the nigger over from the parish house to get folding chairs.
Well, what did you do to entertain those gentlemen callers?
I understood the art of conversation.
I bet you could talk.
Well, girls in those days knew how to talk, I can tell you.
Yes?
It was not enough for a girl to be possessed of a pretty face and a graceful figure. Although I was not slighted in either respect, She needed to have a nimble wit and a tongue to meet all occasions.
Well, what did you talk about then?
Things of importance going on in the world, never anything coarse or common or
Hey.
vulgar. All of my callers were gentlemen, all. And among them, some of the most prominent young planters in the Mississippi Delta. Planters and sons of planters. Why, there was young Champ Laughlin, who later grew up to become the vice president of the Delta Planters Bank, and Hadley Stevenson, who was drowned in Moon Lake and left his widow $150,000 in government bonds. And then there were the Coteray brothers, Wesley and Bates. Bates was one of my bride's particular beaux. He got into a quarrel with that wild Wainwright boy, and they shot it out right on the floor of Moon Lake Casino. Bates was shot in the stomach and died in the ambulance on his way to Memphis. His widow was also well provided for, came into 8 or 10,000 acres, that's all. He married her on the rebound. He never loved her, carried his picture of me on him till the night he died. And then there was that boy that every girl in the Delta had set her cap for, that beautiful, brilliant young Fitzhugh boy from Greene County.
Well, what did he leave his widow?
He never married. Gracious, you talk as though all of my old admirers had turned up their toes to the daisies.
Isn't this the first you speak of that survives?
Well, that Fitzhugh boy went up north and got to make a fortune. He came to be known as the Wolf of Wall Street. He had that Midas touch. Whatever he touched turned to gold. And I could have been Miss Duncan J. Fitzhugh, mind you, but I picked your father.
Mother, let me clear the table.
No, why don't you go and study a typewriter chart a bit or practice your shorthand? I want you to stay fresh for when the gentlemen callers arrive.
I don't believe we're going to be receiving any gentlemen callers.
What? Not one? You must be joking. There must have been a flood. There must have been a tornado.
It's not a flood and it's not a tornado. I'm just not as popular as you are in Blue Mountain. Mother's afraid I'm going to be an old maid.